Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight in our news. The Haitian community of the Bahamas prepares for a mass funeral. Meanwhile, the union representing water and sewage workers eyeing a strike vote. And the plans are in place, but where's the money to rebuild Ragged Island?
Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to Our News, and thanks for joining us. I'm Jared Higgs. Topping news tonight, family and friends of the 31 Haitian nationals whose bodies have been recovered following a sloop crash in Abaco will lay them to rest on Sunday. President of the League of Haitian Pastors, Dr. John Paul Charles, says many will travel from as far as Canada to attend the service. Charles says his organization has been in touch with 17 families, adding that families living in the United States and Canada have been more forthcoming than those who live in the Bahamas.
They're more open to tell you, they have about their houses, about they want to know, so it could be many reasons for that.
Charles says adding to the grief of some families is the fact that 8 or 9 of the deceased had to be laid to rest in Abaco on Thursday night.
They still can't see, their loved one for the last time because maybe you knew that they had to bury some of them last night in Abaco because they were decomposed. They couldn't come to Nassau. In other words, they could embalm them. They couldn't do that. And they have to bury, I think, 8 or 9 last night in Abaco. And, these people, that's why they don't really want to talk.
The funeral will be held at the Enoch Backford Auditorium on Sunday at 2 p.m. Charles estimates that 18 people will be buried. Community activist Louis Georges suggested to Our News that Sunday was too soon for the funerals to be held. Charles says the matter is really out of their hands.
I mean, he could say that, many people could say that too, but the problem is people, they cannot say no longer. No. You see, even the one they were supposed to come here now, so they could even, their body can't hold anymore, and they can, they have to bury them as soon as they can. Even the Bahamian government want the Haitian government to bury them since past yesterday. You see, people can say whatever, but we have to face the reality. Reality, these people in the sea, almost 24 hours, we have to do.
Saturday, charter sailors alerted officials in Abaco to 2 bodies they found floating in waters near Manawar Key. On Monday, officials pegged the death toll at least 27. That increased to 29 on Tuesday, when police found 2 more bodies between Scotland Key and Manawar Key. 2 more bodies were found on Wednesday and Thursday, bringing the death toll to 31. Sadly, Charles says those bodies will have to be buried right away.
The family, they don't want to hear that because, they would want something more decent, It is, but the situation, it's not like the Haitian government doesn't want to do that. That's how it is right now. They decompose and then mostly the other one, they just pull out from the sea. All of them, they have to do something ASAP.
Police are investigating a rape that they say took place on Thursday evening. According to reports, it was shortly after 5 when a woman was at her residence in the East Street area. Police say it was at that time that a man entered her home and sexually assaulted her. A man is being questioned in connection with the incident. The Water and Sewage Union is eyeing a strike vote if the corporation does not address 4 major concerns that they say are a breach of their industrial agreement. Jillian Gray reports.
Union members from the Bahamas Utilities Service and Allied Workers Union gathered just outside the doors of the Department of Labor to express their frustration with executive management. According to Union President Dwayne Woods, a trade dispute has been filed and they are ready to do whatever it takes to get the matter resolved.
Enough is enough. Everybody get tired at one point. So we headed towards the strike vote, and whenever that comes about, the union will always keep the strike as a back pocket item. So whenever we need to pull that, we know just how to do that.
Woods listed 4 items of contention between the union and management. Top of the list is a new policy that denies the union president administrative leave to manage union affairs, something Woods said they enjoyed for many years. Next up is the fact that the corporation now wants the union to rent an office space, which the union president outlined is contrary to the Industrial Relations Act sections 91 and 92. But none is probably as upsetting, he says, as the decision to deny the union a place to meet with its members.
Over the past 35 years, the Busawu Union was allowed to host union meetings on the Water and Sewage Corporation's property after normal working hours. However, since the new board took office, the police was called in on the union's meeting, resulting in the president receiving a letter threatening the union with eviction and rescindment of the administrative leave and the union leave, which is a breach of the industrial agreement.
Woods said his members are on notice, but work to rule or a strike is dependent on how negotiations progress. While the union is eyeing a new industrial agreement with the corporation, the old agreement still stands. Woods said these current matters are cause for concern.
Under the new proposal, we're trying to get to the table to negotiate. But before we sit to the table to negotiate a new proposal, they're rolling back benefits unilaterally, which is a unilateral variation of contract, and it's not acceptable.
You want these benefits to remain then?
Well, they must remain, because only one way they could go is that if we mutually agree, and we don't agree.
Union leaders met with labor officials Friday morning to discuss these matters. Now, when we spoke to Labor Director John Pinder, he said he advised the corporation not to discriminate against Woods in the matter of administrative leave. Water and Sewage Chairman Adrian Gibson declined comment on the matter and said he'll speak at a later date. Meantime, the union is calling on the Labor Minister, Works Minister, or Prime Minister to intervene.
It's all in their hands, and that's why we beg them. We're not appealing to them, we're begging them. So we humbly begging the stakeholders to don't let it get to that, for God's sake.
Now, while they are eyeing a strike vote, the union president said they are not closing the door to negotiation. Reporting for our News, I'm Jillian Gray.
While the Water and Sewage Corporation continues to work on those voluntary separation packages, the union says it has not had direct communication with the corporation. Instead, Union President Dwayne Woods said it seems management is trying to work around the union.
Management have not came to the union to talk anything about a VSEP package, but what they did was they went to the membership without coming through the union and tell them they have a cake with all kind of cherry on the top, and they must individually come to the office for this cake with the cherry icing on the top, which is nonsense, frivolous. That comment was very frivolous and vexatious, and that's how the union see it. And we don't want to get into no contention, but we beg them to be apprehensible about this whole thing.
Last month, Water and Sewage Chairman Adrian Gibson said packages were being put together and promised a sit-down with the union. While Woods said that has not happened, he said the union is ready to negotiate on behalf of its 318 members. And while the board has gone directly to the employees instead of coming to the union, Woods is confident that his members will not bite until those packages are reviewed by the union.
Our members know that the union is the sole bargaining agent on their behalf, and I don't think they're fool enough to venture into that port. Small craft may stay in port.
As Ragged Islanders struggle with no public school, clinic, post office or administrators building, NEMA Director Captain Stephen Russell says the plans are drawn to rebuild the community, and it's just a matter of money being allocated.
And just a matter now securing funds for the work to be done.
As Ragged Islanders call for government to take action in their storm-ravaged community, Russell says the drawings have been completed for the construction of key buildings, and it's just a matter of waiting for funds to be made available.
I'm quite sure the Ministry of Works, their teams would put the costing to the various projects, and they would send the projects out to tenders for competent builders to bid on them and give the estimates to do the work. And once funds are secured or made available, they would carry the work.
In 2017, Hurricane Irma left the tiny island chain in ruins, leading Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis to describe the island as unlivable. NEMA has also designated the island as uninhabitable because there is no doctor, nurse, police, and other basic institutions. With no schools available, the island's children have moved to Exuma and New Providence to continue their education. Minnis has promised to transform Ragged Island into the first fully green island in the region. However, more than a year later, nothing.
I've heard from a number of persons who wanted to put solar proposals or put proposals forward in terms of solar rights in the whole community in the region of $3 or more million. So again, that's another figure.
However, Russell says solarization and other green initiatives aren't possible until the community is rebuilt.
When the structures are in place, then you can see how where they put the solar panels on top of the roofs versus the regular electrical infrastructure.
While Ragged Islanders wait and hope for their island to be rebuilt, the country breathed a collective sigh of relief as the 2018 hurricane season was a quiet one for the Bahamas.
There were hurricanes in the region, but we were not impacted by any of them, no.
That's a good thing?
A very good indeed.
Still to come on Our News, the Minister for Grand Bahama excited about a new port plan for the island. Plus, the Defense Force moves to introduce drones. That's coming up when Our News returns.